Hi everyone, it's Shannon Shy. Welcome to another installment of Q&A with Shannon about OCD recovery. Thank you everyone for the questions. Let me first begin by reminding you that I'm going to be coming out with another OCD project. I'm really excited about it. And then there will be another one in early 2025. So just stay tuned. Very excited about it. All right, today's question comes from our friend David on the public comment thread to my last post on Great Thinkers Thursday about surfing. And so David asked, reasonably, could someone share a practical example of what such surfing might look like? All right. So thank you, David, for the question. I often, when I convey my experience with OCD, my strategies, my techniques for overcoming OCD, I use metaphors and analogies. It's just helpful, I think, to a lot of people to explain what is required to overcome OCD in different ways, right? Something different will resonate with somebody different. Uh, so bear with me. I appreciate the question because I know sometimes I might not be as clear as I should be. So I'll try harder. All right. So let me give you the practical example, and I'll draw from my own experience of a very common OCD thought that OCD delivered me. Right. I'd be driving in my car. I'd hit a bump, or I'd see a person hit a bump, and OCD would say, "Oh, you may have just hit that person on the sidewalk who's standing too close to the road, probably laying back there in the road, bleeding to death, maybe dead." And then the anxiety would start to come in, and OCD would say, you need to go back and make sure that you didn't hit that person. Or if you did, that you can help them, or definitely got to call the police either way, right? Report yourself. On and on. And then it would follow all that with all these grave consequences like prison and losing everything, and on and on and on, right? And I would just play along and turn around and turn around and turn around. And every time I turned around, I found more doubt. OCD would hammer me about, and it was this vicious loop, and we all know that experience. So that's the practical example. Now, let's talk about surfing. So there are two facets with the whole wave surf, right? You can't stop the wave, you can learn to surf. Two facets of using this in OCD recovery. The first one is we know that we can't stop the thoughts from coming in, much like we can't stop a wave from rolling into the beach. It's futile to try to stop it. So we could be helpless. We could act helpless and say, well, I'm doomed, right? I could let this wave knock me over, figuratively, in the OCD context, literally with the wave. I could just stand here and be helpless. Or we can do something different. We can use that energy to our own advantage. So we allow the wave to come in, and then we become indifferent. We allow it to be there by being indifferent. Why can we be indifferent? We don't have to give it value. My theory in my own recovery was OCD thoughts don't have value, right? OCD is just creating this stuff to try to get me. It feels real, right? My brain and my body are telling me, warning, 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 you have to do something about this. But my theory was that if I suspected that OCD was the source of a thought, I would attribute it to the disorder and then I would just allow it to be there. Being indifferent, right? Rising above the thoughts, like you would rise above a wave on a surfboard. Being indifferent, rising above it and letting it all just happen was my metaphorical surfboard, right? I wasn't helpless against the wave rolling in or the OCD thoughts coming in. I did something, I used that power to my own advantage. I got on top of it. So in my example, all of those thoughts that OC would give me about hitting a person, I would think about it and didn't have to think too long. If I suspected that it was coming from OCD, I would attribute it to the disorder. And then the now what? Well, the now what is I don't care if those thoughts are in my mind. I wasn't saying that I don't care if I killed somebody. What I was saying was I don't care if that OCD thought that I might have killed somebody is in my mind. It can be here. I don't have to give it value because it's coming from OCD. And then I would, at all costs, resist performing the compulsion of circling back around. All the while reminding myself that this is coming from OCD and I'm not giving it value. I don't need to. It's hard and it feels like you're taking real risk, but you look at the risk of not getting better and you say, I have to resist giving into this compulsion. I know I'm going to have anxiety, but ultimately, I think the anxiety will subside, recede. And so that's where I'm going with it. Allowing the thought by being indifferent was the epiphany of my recovery, right? It was the most effective technique at taking the most power away from the disorder. I don't have to give it value. You don't have to give it value. So why do it? All right. I hope this is helpful. I'll try to be more clear next time. All right. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.